Go. Hi everyone, back again, just to share a few more bits and pieces with you. But first of all, I'd like to say, Scrimping Mummy Amanda, you are a sweetheart. Thank you so much for your lovely videos and for your lovely comments and for encouraging your subbies to come over to me. Thank you to Fiona before I go any further, because this project once again has used a lot of the things that I've seen her do on video, and I'm just put it together in my own fashion. And also welcome to anybody that signed up with me. It was a huge surprise, and I do thank you all very much indeed. I'd like to talk about a couple of things before we get onto the project. One of them being this wonderful paper. I downloaded some images yesterday, which we then printed off onto this paper. I don't know if you can make it out, but it is a canvas paper that I acquired, we'll say, from Aldi. Every once in a while they bring them into store. I usually wait until they're reduced, because at £3.99 for 20 sheets, I know it's going to come down. It probably won't any longer once you see how good it is, but it's got a sheen to it before you print on it, which lets you see which side to print on, and it just adds a little bit more texture and vintage style, if you like, to the print. So I hope you find that helpful. It's all A4 sheets, it's really good quality. You can use it for decoupage and so on, but for printing out it really is quite stunning. What I did was make a tag, but I'd also like to if you've not already heard of this firm, introduce you to fernlidesigns.com. That's the website address there, if you can pick it up. I will try and put it in the box, description box, so that you can actually go there and check it out. But it is such a beautiful site with so many things and excellent prices. So these are smaller tags. The smaller tags again, oval tags, and today I've chosen to use the extra large tag from their range, which comes in packs of 3 for such a very good price, and it's all finished beautifully, no rough edges. You literally do just put whatever you want onto it, which is what I did here. And this is what I'd like to show you how to make. Nothing new at all in this. It's been done a million times before on YouTube, but I just thought it's a very simple tag, very pretty, and it actually doesn't need a whole lot of materials once you've got your basics in place. The tiles here, if you can pick those up, I borrowed from Jennings 644, dear Fiona. She did a tutorial on them recently, and using the Fernley boards I just made a whole gaggle of them using tapestry stamps, paper, acrylic paint, and then finished them with glossy accents, and they just come out really prettily, and they do enhance your projects. It's up to you, obviously, what you print on them, but they're just so lovely. I was so impressed. So there you go. They're not great. I've got holes in them and bubbles, and you know, all the things that come with letting the glossy accent settle, but I'm actually quite pleased with them. So there we are. I'll put those out of the way now so you can see this one come into being. I'll just grab my mat with everything on it, all prepared. I'm not like these wonderful crafters that just put a load of stuff in front of them and then work ad hoc. I actually do need to think about things quite a lot before I come up with a project. The other thing I wanted to show you is a variation of Fiona's flowers for people that perhaps don't have a lot of ribbons or materials in the house. This is just made up on the hoogie board, actually, scoring every one of those little lines, valley and mountain folding, a little bit of something on the back to hold it together. I then made one of Fiona's little flowers out of lace trim and just stuck a little bling, which is a broken down bracelet that I got in the sale, but I think that's quite pretty. Obviously you can make it smaller, it doesn't have to be that size, but for the purposes of you seeing how it comes out on the video, it's an alternative if you don't have materials but a good stash of papers. So I'll leave that one there for you to have a little think about. So today I'm going to show you how to do that very, very simple tile. I've done some preparatory work just to save time really, and I'm using one of the 3 sets of the plaques that I already mentioned from Fernley. You'll see it's a different design. I've already papered the back, and it was just a piece of paper out of my stash. I'm sorry, I don't recall what range it is, but it's a family influenced sheet. So I've put that on the back, having drawn around the tag, trimmed it up where I needed to, and I've just stuck it down with PVA glue. This is the front. You might pick up the family sentiment on the front there, I'm not really sure. It's a beautiful day in sunny Devon, but you know, it might not be very clear on the camera.
Somerset.
Oh, Somerset, sorry, not East. My film crew's telling me it's Somerset. I've come here from Devon, but it's all one to me. It's beautiful, the sky's blue, sun is shining, what more can a girl ask for? Oh, I've lost my paintbrush. Can you see my paintbrush anywhere, Mr. Crewman?
I'm afraid not.
Can you get me one?
Yeah,
I've got one in my stash. Out there. Oh dear, I thought I had everything organised too. What a Dylan.
I'll get you.
Yeah, nice. That one will do, Gary. That's a nice one there, nice thick one. All I've got here is PVA and water mixed glue. I think it's about 60-40, something like that, which I'm just going to pour on. Oh, I won't put it on the paper, I'll put it onto the actual tag and just spread out. As I say, it's measured and pre-cut, but you may still have to trim off a little bit as you go, but this is fun. Just slopping that on all over the place to keep it. Don't worry about it being nice and thick, it just helps anchor and actually prevents bubbles and so on forming under the paper, which is all to the good. We don't want that particularly, although by the time you put all your additions on it, it really doesn't make much of a muchness if there are little crinkles and things in it. Ideally we don't want that, but you know, this is not an ideal world, I find sometimes. So there's that bit all beautifully done without too much ado. And we're just going to apply this nice paper. It's very fresh looking, very clean looking. Slide it into position until I get it, till you get it where you want it. Not everybody wants to use modelling mediums and all that kind of thing, and actually paper stacks work just as well. I'm a bit anal about these things, and I do like the backs to look as nice as the fronts, I'm afraid. But that's just me, you don't have to. At the end of the day, it probably only rests against the wall or in a, you know, frame or some such. So you don't actually see the back, and then I just go around very, very quickly, trim off any excess that might be showing on the other side. You can actually do this at the end, but again, I'm just tidying up as I go. So we'll call that a done deal. Through the paper you can actually feel where the holes are for the hanging bit, and I just pinch that together to get that outline, so that in a little while I can just puncture that, put a bit of PVA glue around the hole to keep all the bits of paper together, and it looks quite finished in its way. Now I've got some trim here, and it's one of these ones that really does need to be cut a little bit. On the first tag I did, it didn't go all the way down to the bottom because there was a border on the paper that I didn't really want to lose, but I think on this one I'll go from the bottom up to the top. There might be some trimming involved later on, and put the glue gun on just to tidy things up. But this is a very pretty lace. Gary, you couldn't get my bigger scissors, could you, please? Thank you. This one's already been on today, so it shouldn't be too far out of the heating zone for use. I'm just going to trim out some little bits, thank you, little bits of lace from the scalloped edge of the lace. Some of it's quite deep and it does take away that nicer edging. It's only little bits, but it's nice to have that showing, if at all possible. Just concentrate on that a bit. I don't want to cut into the actual design that's been sewn into this lace. Move that out of the way. It doesn't matter that this isn't quite dry, because it will dry as we go along. I'm working in the conservatory and it is so hot. You wouldn't believe it was January, to be quite honest with you, but it is, as we know to our cost from yesterday. And it just howled with rain the whole day. Actually, I wasn't quite happy with. Right, so I think the glue gun's about ready to play. I'm going to take it up to just before the hole that I'm going to have to pierce later on. Line it up as straight as I can, and in true Fiona style, I'm just going to add a bit of glue here and there, put the lace into place, and then just tap it. Excuse my glue gun, it's a bit of a Whoppadopoulos one. I got so tired of working my way through the smaller glue guns. This has got larger glue sticks. I nearly told Fiona about it, but you know, she likes a fine tip, when you certainly don't get this from this one, but it serves its purpose. So that's one layer on. I'll just trim that off, if my scissors will let me. Gosh, you could write a China on these. I thought they were sharper than that. However, that's that layer on, and then I do exactly the same thing again, so you've got a double layer, very pretty edge. I hope you can see this, never quite sure, and I'll just anchor that down in the same way, trying to line up the scallop of the other side so that it all is quite uniform, and then just a little bit down the bottom here to anchor it to the edge of the wood, so that I can just then trim that off and get rid of the excess that I don't need. Might be better with these little scissors actually. Oh yeah, they're a wee bit sharper. I just want to take it off around the edges of the tag so that it sort of follows the contour of this bit on the top, and then I'll just follow it down the edge of the tag. And I'm not worried if it's a little bit jagged, because when I put the next layer of glue on, I can actually just tap it into place so that it anchors itself in situ without being too untidy when you look at it. Well, that's how it worked the first time round, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, lift up that edge again. Just run it down the side and then just pat it into place basically. I haven't got the asbestos fingers that Fiona's got, unfortunately. I do envy her those at times when I end up with blisters at the end of the day and that kind of thing, but hey ho. Right, so that's that bit done, all very simple as you can see. The next thing I've got is one of the frames from Denham that Fiona, glue strings, that Fiona advertised a while back. I went there and bought a couple of packs. They were 3 in a pack, oval, a square and then this shape, using one of the images that we printed off yesterday on the canvas paper. I've just put it into the frame, left the back bit off because I really do want it to stick well to the surface here, and it won't do that, it's a bit too bulky otherwise. I've also got from Memory Dies a couple of the really delicate, beautiful ferns. I got this die several months ago, but it really is quite the business. It's very, very pretty. So I'm just going to put those onto the front, just to make them look quite natural and not too uniform. Put some glue around the edge of the frame, and that will then all anchor that together. I don't really want to anchor down those leaves because I quite like the fact that they're free and they can move, and that will just sit in that position. I'll just show you. So you get the effects of the ferns just coming up over, which takes you then to the top where you'll have your ribbon, and it all just flows really, really nicely. I've also got, had a butterfly somewhere. Oh, I've lost that one by the looks of it. Oh well, hey ho. Oh, here we are. Which I shall put on just to fill that little gap at the top. I've just put a couple of little half back pearls there just to try and pretty that up a little bit, but I quite like the wood in its raw and natural state. I made one of Fiona's flowers, go to her site, Jennings644, with gathered lace. I put a little bit of pink lace in the centre and then a pearl that matched the paper, and I'm just going to put that one next to the picture frame. On the other one I put it higher up, and then I made my lovely little tag again from Fernley, and I got some jump rings from Gary, my partner, and put this little design on the tag, stressed it up a little bit, put it onto a safety pin because I'm weird like that. I quite liked it, I just thought it was quite a funky thing to do. I mean, if you're not keen on the safety pin as it stands, you can always put beads on them, on the edges of the safety pin, and that just gives it another little dimension that draws the eye. And all I'm going to do is pop a little bit of glue on the back of the small tag, because I don't really want it hanging per se, and then I'm going to anchor down the safety pin just to keep it all in place and where I want it to be. There's one side. The chain can move, but I don't really want to take the chance of losing the little tag, more glue strands. Then I've got my little tags that I showed you earlier that I made that are all in keeping with the colours in the paper. I'm going to use 3 of those across the bottom. It actually looks a bit busier on this one because it hasn't got the border to break up from the main design. which can go like that. Then I've got a very pretty lace which started out in like that, but it wasn't quite enough for me at the bottom, so I put that on and then I hand cut from that these little shapes, little appliques that I can put in the middle to make that fuller. So again, it's just a question of putting the glue along the bottom. It's very quick and very easy. You don't need a lot of talent to put something like this together, but it's pretty, and you know, I'm sure it would make a pleasant gift for someone to receive. I'm just going to pop some glue on the little bits that I cut out and line them up so that they all look as if they belong there and they live there. Just a little bit of glue here and there to anchor it all down into place. Got one more. This really was a very, very pretty trim that I bought on eBay, as I recall, from Best Toddlers in China. But they do some beautiful trims there at a very reasonable price. And I'm always looking for bargains. That's what's left of that lace. I suppose I could do a little something with the holy bit, but not just at the moment. I then found 3 rosebuds, because I think these things do need a flower, which I'm just going to anchor to the side of the frame in that fashion. I expect I'm going to run out of time, but hey ho. Might end up with 2 videos, if not 3, like I usually do. That just sits there very nicely. At this point, if you want to put glitter or colour them, that's entirely up to you. But it's just natural. I like things not to look too overdone. Oh, I've dropped glue on there now. Take that out of the way a minute. I'm not as brave as Fiona, I just can't stick my fingers in it and suffer the pain, I'm afraid. And then I've got 3 tiny little roses, I don't really need any more than 3, that I'm just going to use as fillers to bring around, well, I might use the 4 actually. Put the 3 together, wrap around the stem like so, trim it off. That just gives you something then to anchor it onto alongside the frame there, and then they can go in together like that. So drop more glue. Pop that in under there if it will go, please. Lovely. And then one more for good luck, and I quite like to use something fine-ish. I like to wrap these little bits and just have the tendrils coming out of the roses. It just makes it a little bit more natural and as nature would have it be, to be truthful, in my opinion. And then I'll pop that one in there and we're all done. Apart from putting on a little bit of something that would allow you to hang or anchor. I'll show you at that point. It's quite pretty, I think. Lots and lots of glue strands, so you're going to have to bear with me. Apparently you can melt them off with your hot glue gun or not, as you choose to. But for this top bit I'm going to use the end of the paintbrush to break through the surface on one side, and because it's quite nice and round, it allows me to do that. Same on the other side. Trim off any excess that might just rear its ugly head through the hole that you've made. And then if you take the paintbrush that you use to glue your paper on and just get it into the hole there, it actually just secures all that paper, moistens it, gets it nice and tidy so it looks like quite a professional finish on it. I don't like that bit. I'll have to work at that. But there we are, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any out there. That's the tag, and it doesn't take too long to go. And just in doing the two colours, you can see that you can just marry up and get a nice finish from any paper stack. I've got two little bits of finer ribbon here that I'll just fold in half. Again, put through the hole any which way that you can. Whoops. Bring the loop through. Take the ribbon through so you've got a really secure top end. It also lets the recipient take them off if they don't like them, trim off the excess, and there you have them. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing them come together. Bye for now, take care.